That looks alright.
Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to my sunny balcony. It is a beautiful February day. It's Valentine's Day. Now this video today is my attempt of consolidating the masses of opinions that are circulating Chelsea Football Club right now from its fan base. There are a lot of opinions to be held about Chelsea right now. I posted sadly, it's the most popular video I've posted in 2019, which was my sofa reactions from the Man City game, which saw, 6-0, almost 100,000 views on YouTube. Many different opinions were shared in the comments of that video. Right now, at Chelsea Football Club, we are going through evidently a transitional period where it's not looking likely that we're going to win many trophies. We're in a Carabao Cup final, but we're also playing the team that just beat us 6-0, so that doesn't look that optimistic the way things are going right now. There is a clear segregation amongst the fan base as to whether or not people think we should stick with Maurizio Sarri, whether or not Chelsea is heading in the right direction. I think with recent results and recent times, I think we can all pretty much conclude that it doesn't look like we're heading in a good direction compared to the amount of trophies and success we've had in recent years. I want to give my overall view as to where I stand in this whole Sarri out saga, what I think needs to happen at Chelsea Football Club. Where do we go from here? So let's start off with the first bunch, which is the Sarri out brigade. These are the people that never really wanted Sarri as the Chelsea manager in the first place. They think that because he's never won a trophy and there is not a single medal on his CV, that for a club like ours, who have won multiple trophies over the past 15, 20 years under the Abramovich era, we should not be employing a manager who has never won anything. Yes, he's got a track record of playing some beautiful football like we saw at Napoli, but is he a manager with the credentials good enough to take Chelsea forward? These are the people that, no matter whether or not we were currently in the top four, we are in a cup final, we've got the Carabao Cup final to come, we're still in the FA Cup, we're still in the Europa League, it doesn't matter about that. There's a bunch of fans who are totally Sarri out, who don't think that his style of football suits the club. I do agree with that to an extent. The personnel at this football club, it isn't really suited for Sarri ball, but whether or not there's time to learn that or not, these group of fans, they just want Sarri out. Now imagine that's one side. We've got the other side, and that is the anti-football haters. Now, anti-football is, from what I understand, a defensive, counter-attacking, ugly style of football. An ugly style of football that was probably the top explanation of the whole park the bus mentality that Jose Mourinho employed at Chelsea. Whether or not you like this, there is absolutely no denying that under Mourinho and this whole park the bus idea, we won trophies. Under Antonio Conte, the sufferball football it was called, and the counter-attacking football, it also won us a Premier League and an FA Cup over the course of 2 seasons. Again, there was a clear segregation amongst the Chelsea fan base. Conte in, he's won us a Premier League and an FA Cup, give the man some time, it is an absolute disaster, he's been sacked. And the other side of it was, it's suffering, it's horrible, we missed out on the top 4, sack him, get in a new manager, and let's play some attractive football. Now Maurizio Sarri came in, and the whole idea was that he was going to implement this whole Sarri ball thing. I say it like this because I'm still personally trying to figure out exactly what it is. You've got these two sides, the Sarri in, the Sarri out, the anti-football haters who just want to see this whole beautiful Sarri football that we've looked at from the YouTube montages of Napoli. It's not quite working out at Chelsea. Is that because the personnel doesn't fit it? Yes, it is. Do we have the time to be able to enable this to be implemented to Chelsea Football Club? It's debatable. We're not in the top 4. We are getting absolutely hammered on a fortnightly basis whenever we're playing away from home, and there's clearly an issue and there's clearly a problem amongst the squad and the tactics. Now going back to the Sarri out brigade, I think a lot of this stems from Sarri's evident arrogance of not having a plan B. He's come out and said that other managers, Guardiola, obviously Emery and now at Arsenal, they're being given time to implement a new style of football, new tactics, and eventually that time will hopefully reap rewards. We've seen it at Manchester City. Didn't quite work first of all under Guardiola. Now they're dominating the Premier League. Liverpool are up there as well, so are Spurs, but they're clearly the best team. With Chelsea, we have got the small issue of our best player probably, almost definitely leaving the club if we do not secure Champions League football next season. That is where the debate really lies as to whether or not we can afford to give Sarri the time to make his plan A work. There's two clear sides. There's also another bunch of fans who have their opinion, and these are the bunch who were watching Chelsea back in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, before I was born in the early 90s. Now, these group of fans have the opinion that I, as a 24-year-old Chelsea fan who has been a Chelsea fan all my life, one of the first things I ever wore was a Chelsea shirt. I'm not allowed to be so spoilt because you don't know what it was like supporting Chelsea in the 80s. This is a load of bullshit, in my opinion. Just because I'm spoilt to have been born into an era where Chelsea are successful does not mean that I should be happy with losing 4-0 at Bournemouth, with losing 6-0 at Manchester City, with being 6th in the table, with playing Europa League football and going to Malmo away on a Thursday night as opposed to Barcelona away on a Tuesday night. Apparently, according to this group of fans, I don't have the right. Now, I take this back to when I was a child. I used to play football, I was a goalkeeper, and I played in a very, very successful team. A team that won league titles, cups. We won tournaments. You know those tournaments you play, the 5-a-side, 6-a-sides? I experienced winning at a level where I was literally lifting trophies. I had medals around my neck. The same thing has been the case with the team I support, and I know I'm very lucky to support a team that has won so many trophies in the Abramovich era. Now, I don't know about you, but when it comes to my happiness on a weekly basis, the football results of the weekend play they play a massive part in that. And when we lose, I'm grumpy. When we win, I'm happy, and it affects so many different areas of my life. So yes, to just completely argue with your point of view, I am more than within my rights to be upset, to be vocal in my opinions with how things are going at Chelsea Football Club. And whether I've worked with the club in the past or not, nothing's going to change that. I'm a Chelsea fan who wants to see us win and doesn't want to be embarrassed on social media and doesn't want to be sad on a weekly basis because we keep getting beat. Now, when it comes to figuring out exactly what it is, I'm going to wait for these bikes to go past. Taking it back to what I said about my childhood and playing football and experiencing Chelsea win trophies, the most incredible feeling in the world is that final day when you're in a cup final, be it the Carabao Cup, Champions League, FA Cup final, and the build-up to this event. You've got a 50-50 chance of winning, and sometimes you go in as underdogs, sometimes you go in as favourites, and this emotion that you go through is like nothing else in the world. You can't compare it to anything. And then if you win, that elation, that happiness that comes with lifting trophies and winning is uncomparable. Now, yes, we've been used to that in recent years. And the way we've done that is by getting rid of managers, getting new managers in, and it's never really made that much difference to the playing personnel at the club. As much as I've wanted to see a dynasty be built at Chelsea, I've come to accept and appreciate that the way that our football club has been ran has not been to build a dynasty with a long-term manager. Hell, you can't win a Premier League and then an FA Cup the next season and keep a job. It's not going to happen. What are we seeing under Sarri? Yes, we're in a final. We're in the Carabao Cup final, and we're still in the FA Cup and the Europa League, which for me is not a reason for us to give up on him yet. I'm not part of the Sarri out brigade. However, I do believe that it's very frustrating to see the arrogance in not trying something new, in not using Hudson-Odoi more, in not seeing Ampadu in the team, not seeing Christensen play more games. There are some things that I would like to see that we're just not seeing, and I think that this rigidity within his tactics is what is making us come unstuck on a fortnightly basis whenever we go away from home right now, and I think it does need to change. However, all of these negative emotions surrounding Chelsea and the pressure that is constantly on the managers, there's only so many more times we're going to be able to chop and change and win trophies before we have to just accept that we are so far behind City, we are so far behind Liverpool, and challenging for the Premier League is not something we're going to be able to do until we have changed our style of play. We won it under Mourinho, we won it under Conte playing a defensive game. The new attacking Klopp, Guardiola, Liverpool, City, they have now taken over that. That's why we see Mourinho out of a job. That's why we don't see Conte in the Premier League, because Klopp and Guardiola have taken their teams to a whole new level of quality and a whole new level that even Chelsea trying something similar, we are so far away from it. And I feel as though chopping and changing it right now isn't really going to help us. I think, yes, it's quite clear we do need a bit of an overhaul in terms of the playing staff. But one thing that I've noticed off of the backlash of this Man City result, it all comes back down to what it is I love about football in the first place, and that is winning. That's all I want to experience. Yes, you know you're not going to win every game. You're going to draw some. You're also going to lose some, and that's part and parcel of it. I do believe that we're going to regress even more if we keep changing things right now. That is where I stand on it. It's been interesting looking at the feedback from everybody on social media as a result of that 6-0 defeat for City. It has made questions be asked more than ever before. After looking at both opinions, it's quite clear that the defensive style of play that we've been used to, that some people hate, has won us trophies. And I don't think even if we did revert back to that right now, it would change very much at all, because like I said, those teams at the top are so much better than what we're at with our personnel that we've got playing for us right now. But anyway, let's stick with Sarri for now. Let's back him. If it doesn't work out, he's going to get the sack. That's just the nature of the beast and how it works at Chelsea. That's what we're used to. I'm kind of just going to strip back my expectations a little bit now. Carabao Cup final, I really don't expect anything after what City did to us last time. The Europa League, we're playing Malmo. No disrespect. We've got that game tonight, the first leg. We need to get through in that. And let's see how far we can go in that competition as well. The FA Cup on Monday, huge game against United. I'm going to be going to it. There's an ambulance now. Let's all stick behind Chelsea. Let's all keep giving the manager some support if we can, whether you hate him, whether you love him. Let's back the football club and remember what it is we love about football in the first place. These emotional roller coasters are the reason we keep following it week in, week out. It's the reason why we don't turn off the TV when we're 5-0 down. I didn't turn it off at the weekend against City, even though I knew it was only going to get worse. Sometimes you just have to suffer as a result of trying something different, and that is the conclusion I've personally come to. I know people aren't always going to agree. There are going to be people who think I'm stupid because, you know, I'm happy to just allow this to continue, but hopefully time is going to give us some progression with Sarri's style. It is a little bit draining constantly seeing managers that we begin to love getting sacked, and I wouldn't say I love Sarri right now. I firmly understand the reasons why some people want him out. But quite frankly, I don't think at this point in time there is anyone who would want to take the job, who could actually take us any further forward than Sarri is right now. But that wraps up this video. There's a massive toxic atmosphere amongst Chelsea fans right now, which sucks, but it is what it is. It's football, it's social media, it's what we've come to expect. Hopefully, we get the win tonight. I'm going to say 2-0. That'll be a good result. Anyway, I will catch you all later. Leave your thoughts in the comments, as always. I'd love to hear what you think. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.